Hello, and welcome to The Banker's Secret to Permanent Family Wealth. I'm John Commuta. I'm author of the best-selling Transforming Debt into Wealth System. I've been a personal finance author and educator for more than 2 decades, and I've had the privilege of helping more than 3 million people all around the world get onto and stay on the road to personal financial independence. The problem is that this is where you want to be. This is where most people want to be. They want to be on what we call the wealth curve. This green line, this pretty green line, shows the exponential growth of compound interest left alone to compound over time. But that's not really what happens for most people. What happens is that most people fall off the wealth curve. They either pull money out of their savings or they borrow, which has the same effect. They fall off the wealth curve and start at a lower point and then start growing. And notice, it intersects the wealth line at a much lower point than the undisturbed green dash line would later intersect the wealth line. But here's what really happens for most people. Now, the green dashed line is the uninterrupted wealth curve where the money's just left in there to grow, compounding. The red line is what we showed on the last graph, which is somebody falling off one time, and look at how much lower they end up in terms of ultimate wealth. But what really happens is the blue jagged line at the bottom where you fall off the wealth curve, get back on for a while, fall off again because you need a new car, fall off a little bit later because you want to remodel the kitchen, fall off again later because junior needs tuition for college, fall off again later because you need another car, you want to take that vacation you've always put off, and then fall off again later because you want to buy that house out by the lake, and you end up way lower than you would have been able to if you had not fallen off the wealth curve. Unfortunately, most of your money is lost long before it gets anywhere near the wealth curve. 28% of your money is taken away by payroll and income taxes. Right off the top, you never even see it. Then after taxes, more than a third of your income is lost to interest payments. These are the statistics for the average U.S. household. So more than half of your income is gone, wiped out, taken out of your life. You don't have it to use to live on or to build wealth. 42% of your income goes to living expenses, and a paltry 5% on average goes to savings. But what if I could give you an extraordinary money system? One where your money would only grow, never have a loss or a correction like the stock market. One that would let you keep the 34.5% you're currently losing to interest. One that would compound that 34.5% interest with interest. One that would reduce your taxes. One that could pay off all of your debts. One that would dramatically reduce, nearly eliminate financial risk. One that would eliminate qualified plan restrictions like contribution limitations, withdrawal limitations, loan restrictions, and plans that keep you in the scary stock market. One that would let you enjoy unrestricted use and control of your money at any time for any reason without explaining it to anyone. One that would protect your money from creditors, from judgments, from lawsuits. One that would let you build, use, and pass on your wealth tax-free. One that would assure your wealth plan will succeed, even if you're disabled, and even if you die before you get a chance to complete it. If you could get a system that could do all that, that would change things. Much less would be lost to taxes. 0% would be lost to interest payments. That 42% going to living expenses, much of that could be building wealth at the same time with the same dollars. And your 5% savings could grow to over 30%. So what would we need to do to implement that kind of solution? This chart shows the average household's spending. About 20% goes to autos, around 30% to housing, 40% to living expenses, and a lot less to savings. But here is the interest component of those areas of spending. This is where the average household is pouring money into nothing more than profit for the banks. So let's make it profit for your bank. Let's capture this interest. Now look at our savings. It's up over 30%. No other financial tool or system can do this, where all the money that goes in stays in and continues to grow so that the interest and dividends is compounding on a larger and larger amount. Meanwhile, you're recapturing interest payments that would have been lost to outside financial institutions, and that excess interest is pouring into the funnel to add even more to what's in the cash value that's growing and growing and growing. And that's how you stay on the wealth curve. So here's your first step. Get and read my book, The Banker's Secret to Permanent Family Wealth. In this brief presentation, I was not able to give you all the details of how this works, but in the book, I can drill down so you can understand how you use your bank to build your wealth and your family's wealth actually for generations into the future.